That felt fantastic off the bat. I feel like these do pretty much do everything you would want them to do. And that felt fantastic as well. Wow. Mizuno have been known for making some of the best irons in the game for countless years. But I'm yet to see one that looks this good. Introducing the brand new 2025 Mizuno JPX Tour irons. Now you'll see there's something slightly different about these irons, which I've not seen before, and I think they look absolutely gorgeous. Could these be now a rival to such as the TaylorMade P790 iron, because these things potentially offer fantastic forgiveness, unrivaled versatility, and of course that fantastic nothing feels like a Mizuno. So we're going to kick things off with the 9 iron, and you can see I've actually still got them in the wrapper because they are brand new, but we have that gorgeous looking black head, and we also have a lovely black dynamic gold S400 shaft, and of course a black MCC grip in here. So this potentially, I think, is a little bit of a step into the unknown for Mizuno here. We have seen such as TaylorMade release the P790s in black. We've seen Callaway release those TI Fusion irons in black. And I do think that Mizuno have stuck to the guns here. They've stuck to exactly what the JPX range is all about. I would love to see a JPX Tour in black in this club. Now, this isn't a cheap golf club. These do range from around £1,100–1,200, potentially up to £1,300 depending on what specs you go for. So they're not going to be cheap. But does that mean that they're unattainable for a lot of people? Does it mean you shouldn't have them on your list? Because looking down at them, I can't believe how sleek this iron looks. And straight away, that felt absolutely gorgeous. So we're out here at 145 yards. I put that to about 10 feet. Seen that? That is absolutely gorgeous. You can see we have that kind of slight geometric sole as well. So that's where Mizuno have chamfered that off a little bit to help you with that turf interaction. We know just how important Mizuno, the feel-based element is, and that contact with the turf is vitally important. You can see there with the divot we've had, it's a lovely kind of little shallow divot. Now, that is obviously down to your technique. It's down to how you get into the ground, how you approach the shot, but having a little kind of chamfered sole does certainly help you with that as well. So I'm quite happy with how that looks. Look down at that, by the way. How good does that look for an iron? I thought this would look a little bit bigger, a little bit clunkier, a little bit more kind of like me at the moment, but it does look really, really nice. It's aesthetically pleasing, especially when you get that strike mark on that gorgeous face there. I think they've done a really good job of this. I don't know just how much this finish would wear off. I think generally clubs have got better when they do black finishes at not letting them wear off, but such as the Callaway really kind of got battered quite quickly. So we'll see how that goes. Can we hit another couple in there like that first one? Because I have to say, that's even better. That is all over it. I'm not going to say I'm at a loss for words, because I very rarely am at a loss for words, but I don't really know what to tell you about these irons, because if I come out and say these are the best irons of 2025 bar none, the comment section will go absolutely crazy. And I do think irons are a very interesting genre of golf club, because different irons suit different people. Some people want blade irons, some people want hollow bodied irons, other people might want something in the middle that performs really nicely but also gives you that element of kind of performance and forgiveness. So let's try for 3 in a row, because proximity to that flag is quite ridiculous, and I didn't expect to be enjoying myself quite as much as I am. I've pulled that a little bit, so that'd be interesting to see if we do get that little flyer. That's gone long, so we have got a bit of a flyer there from pulling it, but these don't have that kind of big hollow bodied design that potentially the P790 have, or potentially the Callaway Apex TI Fusion has. It just has a little bit of kind of hidden tech, which we'll go more into in this video. Let's talk mid irons, let's talk long irons, and let's talk money, because actually if you look at potentially other irons in the market that are kind of fully blacked out and look absolutely gorgeous and potentially limited edition, they're not actually that expensive. I mean, they are expensive, but they're not that expensive. Does that make sense? Kind of. So guys, as you can see, 2 out of 3 really ain't bad, and that is 2 birdie chances straight away on the opening hole with these brand new Mizuno JPX forged iron. So I personally feel here one of the big bonuses you do get with these clubs is that bag appeal. You can see we've got a couple of different sets of Mizuno clubs in here that we're testing today, and I honestly think this JPX Forge features such a fantastic bag appeal. If you have these in the bag, your playing partners, your opponents, people are going to be asking, wow, what on earth are they? Because they look absolutely gorgeous. So we know these irons are designed to be potentially quite forgiving, but also quite versatile as well. They're sitting nicely in that bracket of probably a nice mid-handicapper's club. I also think low handicappers will look at these because, to be honest, who isn't going to look at these? How could, honestly, I wasn't that excited for trying these, and then I've put it down, it's that position down at the ball. It just like, it's got the perfect amount of offset, the perfect top line, and the blade lengths, like if I compare it to the Mizuno Pro here, looking down at it, it's almost a very similar size, isn't it? And I feel like this is designed to potentially be that bit more forgiving. So hats off to Mizuno for designing these and getting them to look so good. We've got 160 here. Now I imagine this is probably a little bit longer than a 160 club. I'm going to try and get that nice kind of versatile 3/4-ish shot, because that's what I think a lot of people who game these irons will want to do. So the strike there is phenomenally, it just feels amazing. That one has gone a little bit long, so that one's gone a bit too far. It was a touch out the toe, so I feel like potentially the spin rate's just been dragged down a little bit there. So let's try again and see if we can just hit a little bit more of a knockdown shot, because the breeze is up here today. They do look very, very like the Callaways. That's the one. That's the one. There's not a lot of movement on these ball flights either, and that's the perfect shot for this hole. You're not necessarily going to be going after that flag. The flag's tucked away tight to the left-hand side, and again, I've just got that strike that I want with that iron there. I think when it comes to, when I review Mizuno irons, I try not to get bogged down in the, oh, they feel amazing, they sound fantastic, nothing feels like a Mizuno, blah, 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 because that is very much their strapline, their marketing technique. But they do feel, I don't want to say it, I'm not going to say it, they feel good is all I'm going to say. Can we properly flight one down here? Let's go flag hunting, see if we can knock it down. How was that? That is absolutely fantastic. If we go into the long irons, and the long irons are as good as the 9-iron and as good as the 7-iron, I might have to go back and see Lawrence again and just see what these could get fitted into. Because Lawrence, so the guy at SGGT, the world's best fitting centre, pretty much, isn't it? Yeah. Definitely the best in the UK. He said, don't sleep on these, because I went looking for a set of P790s to potentially get fitted into for a nice kind of easy game of golf. He said, these are probably as good, if not better. I didn't really listen to him at the time, I probably should have done. So Lawrence, I'm sorry for not listening. You were probably right. So we've stayed on this par 3 because this is my favourite golf hole here at Lindrick, and they're testing the new tees out, so we thought we'd give it a go. I've got the 5-iron now. We're 180 yards away, so again, probably about the right number for this 5-iron. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to... Nice wide sole on there. I do feel like they've really catered for that kind of golfer who maybe struggles a little bit with turf interaction. Let's just go for a nice, high, normal ball flight with these. Centre of the green. Now, I don't generally strike my irons that well, but I certainly feel like here, I'm doing a really, really good job with these JPX forged irons of picking the ball flight, picking the shape, and to be honest, just going for it. Again there, I've hit that just a little bit out the toe, but I'd be really interested to see, and the numbers will be in this video, but I haven't done them yet. I can't wait to see how consistent they are, because that's going to be the be all and end all. If these are really consistent, they could certainly be looking at mid-handicap golfers, low-handicap golfers, really serious golfers. And let's face it, if you're spending over £1,000 on a set of irons, you're a serious golfer. Doesn't matter if you're a 30 handicap, a 10, a 5, whatever. Let's go same again. Do feel like the offset's just leaking them left a touch. And that's the skinny one. Now, if that one pitches on the green, which I think it's going to do, it has, that's the actual shot that I think people want to see. You want to see that horrible skinny one that still pitches on the green, still finishes on the green, and still feels like a Mizuno. Right, I'm just going to get Chris's opinion, because you like a good feeling iron, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Not really tested Mizunos.
No, I think these could be.
I agree with what you've said all this video. From behind the camera, they look fantastic. Don't they? Behind the golf ball, they do look great blade length.
You don't expect them to look that sleek.
No, and I like the colour difference between the face and the ends of the face.
It's like a grey face, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Stop it.
They are.
Feels phenomenal, doesn't it?
See, that is pin high, and that wasn't incredibly well struck. That was right over here.
Do you feel like maybe there's a touch too much offset for us, maybe because our bad shot's left?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I think that it still felt solid off that toe. You could feel it was off the toe, but they do feel, and I have to say, they do look fantastic.
Okay, so let's talk numbers for these gorgeous looking, sleek Mizuno JPX 925 irons, and they do look absolutely stunning. We'll start with the 9 iron, see if we can get that kind of 140-ish number that we would hope for. Hoping for like nice, decent spin numbers on these. That felt fantastic off the bat. Quite low spin on that one. That's carried a long way. That's carried 148. That is a good distance for a 9 iron. It still felt solid, felt really, really soft, which we know Mizunos are designed to do, well known to do. It's another nice one. I feel like these do pretty much do everything you would want them to do. 140 carry, which is the number I want, to be honest. 147 total there with the 9. Can we get that spin rate up a bit? Get it launching nice and high. 6.2. Again, it's bang down the middle of that fairway. And again, it's that 142 number that I do want. So realistically, we are getting some nice consistent numbers here. The first one maybe was a bit of an anomaly, but it was a really, really nice strike. You can tell we've got the new system here. I'm just feeding the test balls out time by time. Oh, that was a terrible swing. What was that? No irons, but it's not done bad actually for the strike. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 145 carry. 145.2 carry. Very nice. Okay, moving on to the 7 iron in this set, and I must say these visually are up there with those Callaway Apex titaniums. They look stunning. Right, 170-ish, we would hope. It's a nice strike. It's a touch on the right side that I've left that face just open a bit. Spin rate not bad though, and that's still in the air. That's a 167 carry. So I've just tested the Mizuno S3s as well. These are a different level of forgiveness compared to them. I mean, I say this a lot, I'm not swinging at my best. That is what it is. But I do feel certainly. What is that, James? If that carries over 150 yards, it's an exception. It has as well. How's that carried 158 with that swing? And this is the part where I quite enjoy testing irons when I'm not at my best, because I know quite sadistically, a lot of people do want to know how forgiving these are. So even that's bottomy. 5,000 spin, the spin's maintained not too bad, but it's that 169 carry with a bottomy one, which is quite remarkable, to be honest. Wow. Smash factor way down there as well. That's as good as I've got. That's a bit of a pull. That might be like a 175 carry even, potentially. 174.1. I know that I've pulled that a little bit. I know the spin's dropped quite a bit. So 181 total. It's a long way. Maybe not the most consistent, but I'm not swinging the most consistent either. So there's always that to bear in mind. That was a necky one. What I love about these is I can tell you where I've hit them from, and they still do that. 174, carry 174. Wow, wow. Okay, numbers for the 5-iron in this set. I think this could be a bit of a beast. I think we're talking 200 yard plus here. So let's set the green out there. Let's set a green at 210. Wow. That's as good as I've got, and that spin number is really, really good actually. 4,500, that's pitching 198, releasing up to that 209 yard mark. And that felt fantastic as well. These are certainly much more my cup of tea over the S3 irons that I've just been testing. I think there's a lot more forgiveness there, but also you can get that air of control, which a lot of golfers still want. That's slightly toey. And I'm kind of calling out the misses here, but slightly toe and we've dropped 3 yards. That is a really, really good effort on Mizuno's part here. And I'm really glad, because I wasn't overly sure of these. I thought these were going to be big and chunky, but you know what? They're not. They're actually a really nice set of forgiving yet players style irons. Wow. Bullseye.